The moment my breaker panel started clicking at 2 in the morning, I knew something was off. Like deep in my bones, this isn't normal. My phone flashes with a warning about my power usage tripling overnight, and out in my driveway stands the HOA president grinning like she just invented sliced bread. That was my welcome to the funhouse moment right there. What I didn't realize yet was that my house, sitting right at the edge of the development where the HOA asphalt runs out and real dirt starts, had become the power plant for half the neighborhood's new community Wi-Fi. The logs tracking it all were already writing the first lines of a story that'd flip a few careers upside down. See, when I bought the place, the HOA called it a transition lot. That's code for close enough to control, but out on the edge where they figure you won't make a fuss. Wrong again. One detail mattered more than I could have guessed. The previous owner had beefed up the electrical for his workshop, and I just left it as is because I like not worrying about running saws or charging things. Turns out that detail was like leaving my wallet on the front porch with a sign that says, "Help yourself." The first signs weren't dramatic. Just annoying in that technology hates you way. My internet slowing down every night, videos stalling, downloads dying right at sunset. I blamed my provider, who doesn't, but then my power bill nearly doubled for no reason I could see. Same routines, same everything. I called the utility. No error, no meter problems. Just looks like you're running a business. I laughed. If I was mining crypto, I'd have a nicer truck. She didn't laugh. A week later, shiny HOA newsletter community Wi-Fi is coming full of promises. Nothing about who was footing the bill. Suspiciously quiet about where the juice was coming from. Instead of making noise, I waited. How bold would they get? 2 days later, a new metal cabinet shows up next to the utility easement on my property, locked, labeled networking, with wires vanishing under my fence. My gut sank. I checked my panel. Sure enough, even with everything inside off the draw, stayed the same until I shut off the main breaker. Whatever that cabinet was feeding, it was eating on my dime. Then comes Karen, the president herself. Doesn't knock, just parks herself in the driveway. Sunglasses and clipboard radiating that rules don't apply to me vibe. She thanks me for being part of something bigger. Says the HOA temporarily tapped into my electrical for the new Wi-Fi, calls it for the good of everyone. She waves off my protest, says it's all legal, approved under emergency connectivity. Reimbursement. We'll sort it out. Sure we will. That's when my confusion cooled into something like ice. I start logging everything, nothing shady, just data. And man, did that data sing. Every evening, the surge in my usage matched up perfectly with the Wi-Fi traffic, right down to gaming spikes and movie marathons. This wasn't just one access point they'd scaled up. Someone on the board got cocky. Doorbell cam catches a contractor working at the cabinet, not even glancing at my house. Why would he? My meter was already doing all the heavy lifting. By the end of the week, my logs showed illegal draw code violations, and the usage lined up with HOA events. Somebody had signed off on this, and the paper trail wasn't going to be kind. Friday. Karen shows up again, less friendly now, asks if I've been tampering with infrastructure. I tell her no, I haven't touched a thing. Offer to show her usage logs. She laughs, says numbers mean nothing without context. So I do the only reasonable thing, flip off my main breaker. In seconds, the whole neighborhood Wi-Fi drops dead, and Karen's phone erupts with alerts she can't read. 6 minutes later, after the missed calls and frantic voicemails, I flip the breaker back on. Load jumps up, caught red-handed. Now they know. I pull every permit on file in the HOA for the last 6 months. Nothing. No record of network cabinets, no temporary infrastructure, nothing to cover what's bolted 20 feet from my line, sucking juice from my meter. I sleep better that night. Next morning, Karen returns with 2 board members in tow. One's got a folder probably full of hush money. Karen gives me the spiel: community investment liability cooperation is expected. I ask who authorized it. The board. Can I see the vote? That's confidential. Did you notify the power company? Silence. Folder guy tries to bribe me with compensation. I don't even open it. You don't offer hush money unless you know you're in trouble. I show them my logs. Karen calls them fake. I say the originals are backed up, mirrored, and in my lawyer's hands. Board guy pales. I ask them to leave. An hour later, I get a lawyer's email. Tones changed, wants to clarify misunderstandings. I reply, any more unauthorized use and it's theft. That same day, the power company calls. They've noticed anomalies too. By sunset, a utility truck's at the cabinet, and Karen's doing her best to intimidate the engineers. They aren't having it. They test the line meter jumps as soon as the Wi-Fi is powered. No room for debate. They shut the whole thing down, tag it, lock it up. Neighbors get restless, Wi-Fi's out. People start asking questions. The next HOA meeting is a circus. Karen blames the utility, the contractor, even me. I explain slow and clear the bills, the logs, the lack of permit, the undeniable fact that my house was running their system. Karen tries to shout me down. I put the graphs up on the projector, let the silence speak for itself. People get angry. The utility engineer speaks up. That's how houses burn down. Karen's name lands on the utilities incident report and a subpoena. This is no longer a neighborhood spat. The HOA lawyer takes over, sending emails so careful you could skate on them. I meet with them and Karen at a bland conference room. The lawyer tries the let's all be friends routine. I ask who authorized my meter. Karen admits on tape it was her. No written consent, no permit. I hand over the utility report. Lawyer's face hardens. I ask for full disconnect back payment, written guarantees, and a public statement. Karen laughs, says it'll destroy trust. I tell her trust is already gone. Meeting ends. 2 days later, the fire marshal calls, wants to inspect the site. The cabinet's afire waiting to happen, bad wiring, poor ventilation. His report is another nail in the coffin. Residents come knocking this time, not to yell, but to ask. Were their kids at risk? Would their insurance be hit? Did the board do this to anyone else? I tell them the truth. No drama needed. Facts are enough. HOA issues a vague infrastructure initiative statement. 12 hours later, the full utility and fire reports leak into the neighborhood group chat along with Karen's signature authorizing it all. The group chat blows up. Emergency meeting, this time fewer people but more anger. Questions the board can't answer. Karen's car disappears. The HOA lawyer emails, wants to settle. I ask, with who? Karen resigns temporarily. The utility company confirms liabilities personal, not shared. Contractor vanishes. Karen's messages go from angry to desperate. I ignore them. The interim board meets all my terms. Full reimbursement, written guarantees, real audits, public apology. The real HOA statement goes out, unauthorized use apology, corrective action. No names, but everyone knows. Karen's name pops up on a notice for her hearing. Neighbors react, some angry, some sheepish, some apologizing, forever doubting me. The hearing is anticlimactic. Compliance officers. Facts, admissions, no drama. Karen admits to signing, admits to no consent, says she expected cooperation. Verdict comes in the mail. Fines, responsibility. Karen's name not as president, just herself. The check comes, my kilowatts accounted for. The interim chair sends a note, handwriting shaky, apologizing. A month later, Karen's house is up for sale quietly. When the moving truck comes, I see her one last time. She nods, I nod back. The grass grows over the trench where the cable was. My bill goes back to normal. Internet's fine. The neighborhood relaxes. The logs stay a reminder that power isn't just volts, it's about permission, consent. The belief nobody's watching until somebody is. And when that happens, everything changes. The breaker panel's quiet now. That silence feels like justice. So where's the line between community and theft? How far would you let a board push before you fought back? Ever caught someone in power assuming you'd just roll over? I want to hear your story, your take on justice, and if you've ever had to stand up when nobody else would. Let's talk about it. Drop your thoughts or your own tales below.